Hello, loyal citizen. I see you've gotten Helldivers, but you would like to make sure you don't waste your hard-earned currency on things you don't need. This is going to be a brutally honest informational video on what items are and are not worth your valuable time. Starting off, we are going to have a look into various stratagems you can take into glorious battle with you. Firstly, let's take a walk through your supply weapons. These weapons should be with you and in use constantly. The machine gun is free and you are very quick to find out why. Any worse and they would have to pay you to use and die with it. The anti-material rifle is a fantastic starter weapon for annihilating heavier targets so long as you can hit heads. Would recommend. The stalwart is a well-rounded improvement on the machine gun's shortcomings. If you're one to use them, see to it that you use this one. The anti-tank launcher, on the other hand, is not worth its weight in malignant tumors, let alone steel. The next weapon is an all-around improvement. The recoilless rifle picks up the slack where the anti-tank falls off. Very machine gun versus stalwart situation. Also, you actually get to keep the damned gun after you shoot it. The flamethrower is... Look, as of right now, nobody in their right mind uses it. If you pick it up, you will find out why that seems to be the case. Now, the autocannon. What can I say about the autocannon that hasn't been said about Johnny Sins already? It absolutely fucks. It's the anti-material rifle, given an explosive and violent payload. Speaking of explosive violence, the railgun, my personal favorite. I haven't put it down since picking it up. This weapon is an absolute demon. Just be careful if you overcharge it. Seriously though, this thing's dope as hell. Look at this.
You got into this nest or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. My bad, I kinda was just running for a second. So,
Got it.
Reloading!
Killed it.
Freedom never sleeps!
Alright, we're just gonna... We can get out of here. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Once again on the topic of violent explosions, the spear. The spear sets the industry standard in telling a large armored thing to go fuck itself by express shipping it out of this plane of existence. The grenade launcher is an interesting little weapon because it's like the autocannon, except it does everything worse. Once again, I bring up the machine gun versus the stalwart. Don't pick this up for your own good. Laser cannon, don't bother with it. There's better guns. There's no reason you need to just torture yourself in such a manner as to use this god-awful weapon. And this is shit. Nobody wants this. This is nobody's favorite. Second order of business. Orbital strikes. Voted 14 years running as the best way to make the battlefield reek of democracy, ozone, and the tears of your enemies. The Gatling barrage is a strike that I would most often consider good enough, especially as you're starting out. It's not gonna wreak havoc on the area, but it's gonna kill enough things to make life less stressful. And the airburst strike would be right in the same basket. It's generally effective, but nothing to write home about. The only difference being it acts a bit more decisively, with less duration to it. Now, these next three are made for clearing nests or bases. The 120 strike is for Helldivers who aren't very concerned with collateral damage. Will it kill the enemies? Most likely. Will it kill one of your fellow Helldivers in the process? Oh, most definitely. And the 380 is a lot similar, it's just bigger. Best summed up by saying, it's gonna hit a lot, you just better have a lot of things for it to hit. This is best paired with a very good throwing arm, as it's a to whom it may concern approach to decimating a landscape. You never really know what's gonna get turned into dust with this. Of the last three, the walking barrage is likely my favorite, because there's at least some semblance of direction with this one. Now, does that mean it's at all accurate whatsoever? Let's just consider that to be determined. The orbital laser can be best described as whatever divine being you may find yourself believing in coming to you in your time of need. Then that said divine being going, fuck all that noise over there, let's get real literal with this scorched earth thing. I consider it a must-have for any sort of robot killing mission. And the orbital rail cannon is an indirect way to inform something that you hate it with the fury of 10,000 dying suns. It's a one-and-done approach to anything you cannot be asked to tolerate any longer. I arm myself with this every time I venture into a bug mission that may have chargers or bile-titans. The orbital precision strike is the same concept, except it's weak and poor. Usually you're going to want to use this on something that's not going to move very much while you kill it, because if it does, it'll get out of the way. The gas strike is fine if you need an area closed off, but that's about the only use you're going to be getting out of it. Quite frankly, it's a waste of a slot that's better deserved with something else. The EMS strike is relatively similar. It's going to stun a lot of enemies, but at that point, why would you not find some sort of lethal payload instead? Because you're wasting your time stunning and shooting instead of just striking them into the dirt. Now, the smoke is actually helpful. It occludes enemy vision. That becomes particularly useful in escort missions against robots, but that's about it. Now I get to wear a smile on my face for the next couple of minutes because I get to talk about airstrikes. God damn, do I love airstrikes. Strafing runs are simple. They're a nice little peppering that'll kill any light or medium enemies out in a straight line from wherever your beacon landed. And it cruises in pretty damn quick too. It's not a bad starter to clear out small areas. Now we have the standard explosive airstrike, my first love in this game. If you are new and need to default to something that'll fuck shit up quick, this is the way to go. Can't go wrong with a simple bombing run. If I don't know what I want in a particular match, this is one of the things I make sure I take with me. We've also got cluster bombs. It's essentially a strafing run that hits harder and comes in horizontally from wherever you dropped your beacon. I would encourage this more than strafe runs, but it also leads to the most friendly fire fatalities. Do you love the smell of napalm in the morning? 'Cause I sure as shit do, but I'll only use it in jungle maps playing Fortunate Son for nostalgia purposes. Fuck the junk pack. Don't use the jump pack. It sucks. Now, smoke screens. Smoke screens are pretty much exactly the same as they are from orbitals. The only difference is now you get two, and they get called in a little faster. Other than that, there's not much of value to say here. Rocket pods, on the other hand, I actually really like. I consider them a budget rail cannon strike, especially if I'm in like a Bile Titan zone. That's what I want to use. So, try to get them when they remain still because they occasionally miss, but for the most part, they'll drop the rockets on the biggest possible enemy. And last but not least, you have the fucking nuke. Mini nuke. But still, I couldn't even say it without an expletive, it was so impressive. Pretty much use this whenever you want a massive area to look like an urn that got spiked on a tile floor. The rest of this video is going to look a little like running through turrets, backpacks, and then the normal guns that you would use in-game. These next three things, you're better off never even looking at. I mean, what, a gun that makes you not move around as much? I don't care if it's high caliber, it's just sedentary and crap. Same with this. When the shield goes down, you're going to be surrounded by enemies. I'm sorry, but they show up in more than groups of, 6? And then, I mean, look at this. Really? Are you just gonna run around the Tesla coil and have it tase bugs or robots? Let's not be ridiculous. Just use a bomb. Now on to things that matter. The minefield. Use these very sparingly because honestly your teammates are gonna walk through it just as much as the bugs do. Supply packs are actually useful, especially if you're with a new player that can't exactly manage their ammunition. I find myself using these a lot if I'm with someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. Another minefield, watch out. It'll kill your friends, but this time you will be burning them to death, okay? Got it. Guard dog backpack, actually super dope. I encourage these, just watch your head. Every once in a while you'll get a laser or a bullet in the side of it if you're not careful where the beam is going, so crouch if it feels like it's getting close. Honestly, haven't found a single use for the ballistic shield, because why would you waste a stratagem slot with something that can be effectively done by standing behind a rock? I mean, really, just get cover. Shield backpack. Personally, don't see the point, but I do see other people getting a lot of use out of this. So, if you get shot at a lot, it's something to consider. The machine gun sentry is exactly what you think it is. It's an automated machine gun turret. The Gatling sentry is a better version of the machine gun sentry. The mortar sentry is good for eradication missions, where all you need is a lot of enemies dead. It fires straight up, so you can put it back in a protected nook and defend it pretty adequately. The other guard dog that shoots bullets is the same as the laser one. I don't know why I like it more, I just do. Something to keep in mind, it'll fuck up your stealth. That thing wants to kill everything, all the time. You will not be able to sneak with it. There is no chance. So, if you're trying to do stealth, don't do that. Autocannon sentries are great, particularly for tearing apart armor above all else. I would definitely use these more in robot missions, but not necessarily if I'm on the move. The rocket sentry feels like a less effective autocannon with splash damage and blowback. If you're standing behind it, it will fucking launch you across the map. The electric mortar is helpful when paired with the normal one, so it doesn't blow you up if enemies get close. Instead, it stuns them from far away while they get pelted. Let's go ahead and finish the guns now. This shotgun sucks. Don't use it. The slug variant that comes up later, fine enough. This frag, also not very good. I wouldn't bother over the normal grenade. Now, this pistol, use it. It's the same damage as the normal one, except it has an automatic feature. It's pretty damn nice. I appreciate that quality of life change. This DMR is only good if you can hit weak spots. If you can hit weak spots, though, go for it, by all means. This submachine gun is a massive step up over your Liberator assault rifle if you like to operate in close quarters. Simple as, it's a submachine gun, what did you expect? The Breaker is the best shotgun in the game. The Breaker is one of the best guns in the game, actually, if I had to take a pick, any variant of it, but this one works plenty. Don't use this gun. Nobody uses this gun. Energy beam weapons are... don't use them. Don't touch them. I don't care if you like Ghostbusters. I haven't seen anybody use impact grenades either, probably because there's a lot of friendly fire and you want the time to dive away. This is a better version of the Liberator. If you really like the base assault rifle, this is a good step up and a quality of life change that I'm sure you will enjoy using. Plus, it looks a lot better too, so you get points for fashion. Now, this is a step up from the prior DMR. It's got a damage boost, that's all. This is a good version of the shotgun at the beginning because it's got slugs, the range is incredible, and smoke grenade, like we said, for all smokes, it's very good for dealing with civilian missions. Now, this is another Breaker, obviously bueno gun. This is good. Very productive firearm, if I do say so myself. And then once again, this is slightly better than the first energy weapon, but got some level 50 friends that have this gun. They don't recommend it, so I'm not recommending it to you either. In summary, your weapon must-haves are going to be the Breaker shotgun, Then you're gonna go grab the support weapons, your anti-material rifle, autocannon, and railgun. As far as resources go, any kind of guard dog, then resupply backpack and shield backpack if you really feel like you need them, but it's pretty up in the air. It's not that necessary. It's just dependent on how you feel. And for heavy ordnance, start with cluster bombs, move on to airstrikes, then move on to rocket pods for the really big targets, and move on to the 500 kilogram bomb to clear out giant areas. If you really want to glitter it up with special frosting and extra sprinkles, get the laser strike and rail strike at your earliest convenience. When it comes to turrets, don't bother buying them until you get enough spare change to flippantly buy the mortar and autocannon. That's just about all you need to know to spend wisely. I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Thanks for listening and have a good night.